I met a woman more than 10 years ago who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested her very severely, where she had a daughter. And around the time her daughter was 3 years old, she stopped speaking. And it was strange. The school called her up and said, your daughter she's not talking. We don't know what's wrong. So she took her daughter to the doctor and they ran some tests, and finally they realized that she had a rare genetic disorder called MPS. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with MPS, this is a disorder where the doctor is telling this mother, your child, who is now 3 years old, will slowly lose all her faculties. Second daughter, who was tested, and she also had MPS. And then she had a third daughter, and she was tested, and she also had MPS. And I kid you not, there are people in the world with one child who has MPS, but I do not think there was anyone given 3. And that was my friend. And then she had a fourth child with severe autism. Now, why do I tell you her story? And I do want to tell you that I have witnessed this woman, and I have visited her in her home years ago when all of her children were alive. And I saw the way they lived. Her house was like a hospital, and she was like a 24-hour nurse. When I say she didn't sleep, I'm not exaggerating. She did not sleep. And day and night she cared for her children, because they got to a point where they could not even swallow their own saliva, so they were choking on it. 3 children, all on machines. And she watched every one of them lose all their faculties until they died. Allah yarhamhum, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reunite them with no sickness. But why do I tell you this story? The reason I tell you this story is I met her in the midst of all of this, and do you know what she said to me? She said to me, I am, quote, drowning in gratitude, end quote. That's what she said. I'm a witness. She has been given a trial we can't even conceive of, and she says, I am drowning in gratitude. How does someone do that? That is the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Gratitude in the midst of her calamity is actually what allowed her to not just survive. I kid you not, this woman was always smiling. She was genuinely grateful despite the tsunami of tests that she was given. And I'll end with this, because gratitude completely transforms your vision. It completely transforms how you view your life. It completely transforms you. But I'll tell you this, and I'll end with this. When they got the diagnosis, her husband said that he would look at his daughters and he said, I feel like I'm looking at 3 graves. And then my friend, the mother, she said, I look at my daughters and I feel like I'm looking at 3 doors to Jannah. How can you have that type of vision with this type of trial? This is not a prophet. This is not the mother of a prophet. This is a regular woman who lives in New Jersey. How do you have that type of vision? And the answer is, I am drowning in gratitude.